Alright, I'm going to put the head gasket on, but I'm going to put these down in it first. Using an aluminum hammer. Those are your guide pins for your head gasket. There's your head gasket. You want to make sure all your holes line up, and it doesn't tell you this way up or anything like that, but you can pretty much see where all the vent holes are. It only fits one way, and that's right. Now my customer removed his head prior to me getting here, so since he did the dumb, I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna leave this off until we get the head on it. I'll let him slip this all back in since he's a genius and screwed it all up and didn't take the intake off. So, okay, we're working on an 04 Mitsubishii Galant. Remember something, you got to take the lower bracket loose. You don't have to take it off, but the two upper bolts on the bottom of the plenum you got to take off. But you got to be able to move this plenum in and out to get the head on. This has to be off. You're not going to be able to play with that. And you might have to go with, looks like they silicone it back there. Whoever ripped the head out of this car did a piss poor job. They didn't do it right. So I took the intake loose, moved it back so I could get the head on. And like I said, I just set it down in there, but I should have been recording, but I didn't. Either way, the intake's got to be loose. You can put the intake gasket on the head when you set it in, and then put slide the intake. I just had the intake slid back. I slid it up to it. So there you go. That's how you get the head inside the car. And then you can, I don't have any of the rocker arm trays in, so I can move the cam back and forth. None of the valves are open. You don't have to worry about that. Other than that, easy peasy. You just took loose the intake, moved it back. It'd have been easier to pull the head straight out. Never put a head trying to slip it back in. Dumb move, ripping the head out like that. Either way, we got it back in, it's safe, we're good. First thing we're gonna do is we're gonna oil the head bolts. Cleaned everything, got new head bolts. I'm gonna put a little bit in the cap here. So I got some oil. Take the head bolts, lubricate the washer on both sides. A little sparingly, doesn't hurt. Just drop them in. You can coat your threads, you can coat the neck, but for the most part you want to coat the washer on both sides. Mitsubishii calls for that. Don't know why, but they do. I wouldn't saturate them, soak them, or anything like that, but I just like to damp them, get them wet. Make sure both sides of your washers lubed in that head. They want the right torque, evidently. And that's it. Alright, we'll be back to torque them. Okay, we're tight. After we've oiled the bolts down, we're going to tighten them down. I'm just going to bring them down snug at first, just like hand tight, just to get them all in. Start from the center and work my way out. I got one over there on the fender. I'm just gonna re-lube it up real quick. Come up short one, that's not a good thing. So we're gonna oil that and stick it in. Like I said, I'm just tightening these down hand tight first, getting them all snug down. Now, since somebody else took this head off before I got to it, you could put the intake onto the head first and torque all them down first. They had it all tight. They didn't even loosen it up. I had to loosen it up to get the head back in. But theoretically, it would be easier to put the intake on the head first and then drop it in. So if you're doing it yourself, you might want to consider pulling the intake with the head. It'd be a lot easier. Doing back-ass work calls for stupidity. But I like my head to go nice and even straight, no restrictions. I don't like anything touching it, nothing up against it. Okay, those are all just hand tight. Now we'll go for the torque specs.